Welcome at Lightroom Statistics. In this tutorial you will learn how to increase the exposure of a series of photos with 10%. Of course this is an example. Instead of exposure, you can create a preset with any number of developed tools and change the values of them to your liking. Requirements. For this tutorial we will use the Relative Adjustments plugin of Lightroom Statistics. You can find the link in the More Info section below the video. The Relative Adjustments plugin is based on presets. In order to increase the exposure with 10% we need 2 steps. Step 1. We first have to create a preset for exposure. Step 2. Apply the created preset to the selected photos. Before we create the preset there needs to be a little explanation. First, the percentage should be written as a normal number. 10% should be written as 10 and not as 0.1 or 10%. Further, as said, the plugin uses presets. When working in the relative percent mode, sometime we want to add a value that is beyond the range of the slider in Lightroom. For example, the Exposure Develop tool has a range of -5 to +5. If we want to add 10 or 20, we cannot set the exposure slider to that number. If we want to have our preset contain values that are not supported by Lightroom, we have to manually change the preset. This is no problem for Lightroom. And don't be afraid. This is really simple and you don't need any special tools. Any plain text editor, like Notepad on Windows or TextEdit on Mac OS X will do. To sum up, a preset should always be created in Lightroom. Sometimes, if we want it to contain values that are beyond the range in Lightroom, we have to change the preset manually. First we start with creating a preset for exposure plus 10%. Creating a preset for exposure is 10 seconds work. Go to the Develop module. Select any photo. It doesn't matter which. To create a preset, you click the Create New Preset Plus button at the top of the Presets panel. For shortcut keys, see the info below the video. Give the preset name. I will call it Exposure 10%. I suggest you create a special folder where you store these relative presets. I call it Relative Presets, but you can give it any name you like. Click on the new folder and type your name. Because in this sample we only want to include exposure, click the Check None button on the top and then check only exposure. Make sure process version is also checked. Click the Create button and the preset is created and should be listed in your preset panel. Next step is to manually change the exposure value in the preset. This can't be done in Lightroom because the percent value is greater than Lightroom allows for exposure. Right-click on the preset and select Show in Explorer for Windows or Show in Finder for the Mac. For Mac, if TextEdit is on your dock, then drag the preset file to TextEdit. If not, right-click on the preset file. In the context menu choose Open With. Then choose Other. Choose TextEdit. On Windows, open Notepad. You can open Notepad by going to Start, Accessories, and then Notepad. On Windows 8, use the search option and type Notepad. Now drag the preset file on the Notepad window. It should open. Once the preset file is in your text editor, change the value behind Exposure 2012 and change it to 10. Leave the comma behind the value. The rest of the file you must leave intact and not change. Now save the preset file and close the text editor. You finished your preset. You have to stop and start Lightroom, otherwise Lightroom will not notice the changes you made to the preset. Step 2. Apply the preset. Applying the created preset is even more simple. We start by selecting the photos we want to be changed. Due to a bug in some version of Lightroom 5, in the Develop module, the virtual copies are not created for all selected photos. As a workaround, we switch to the Library module and run the plugin from there. Next, we start the plugin by selecting in the menu Help, Plugin Extra, Start Relative Adjustments. Here we first select the preset folder, and then the preset we want to apply. We choose Relative and Percent. At the bottom we keep the Create Virtual Copy checkbox checked. With the setting turned on, the plugin will first create a virtual copy of each selected photo and then apply the chosen preset relative to it. Press OK to start the plugin. Now let's see what happened. Congratulations, this is all there is to apply preset settings relative with percent. Default, a log file is created. Here you can see how the preset calculated the new values for each photo. For viewing the log file, choose Menu Help, Plugin Extra, Start Relative Adjustments, View Log File.